All right, guys, we are back with episode 22 of the Pack Boys podcast. We're going to be jumping into big game previews with college football. After that, we'll give our cards, our Pack Boys promise parlay as usual, our best bet, and then we're going to jump into the NFL. We have been playing every game as of lately, whether it's an over and under or a spread. We'll have our best bet there. And then our dollar and a dream segment, which is my personal favorite because I want to get rich off of it one day. So if Trey doesn't have anything to add, we can just jump right into the big game previews.
Let's get into some college football.
Let's do it.
All right, our first big game preview. Number 9, Alabama, are 11.5-point favorites going to number 11, Ole Miss. Over under is 64.5. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm hammering Alabama minus 11.5. I am. There's no way they can't not cover again, right? Like, I think they're going to storm in there and beat the brakes. In Ole Miss, I don't care if they're playing in the middle of the moon. I don't care where it's at. Bama has got to be so sick to their stomach, and Saban has got to be so livid. I feel bad for Ole Miss because I think something bad is coming, real bad.
I don't know. I don't think I don't think Ole Miss has been overranked all year. I have them covering 11.5.
Okay.
I think the crowd will be up for it. I think it'll be an amazing crowd in Oxford, Mississippi. This is basically Ole Miss Super Bowl. Yeah. They're out of the college football playoff, but if they beat Alabama, that probably locks them into a New Year's Six bowl. Plus, they get to beat Alabama. So this is the biggest game. Ole Miss, even though they're not in the college football playoff, this is their biggest game all year. They will be up for it. Lane Kiffin, a Saban disciple, he's going to want to beat Saban. He's at home. He has a decent team. Alabama, I think. I mean, last week was for the SEC West, and it was a tough game, a hard-fought game, went to overtime. I'm just going to say they're going to come out a little bit flat. A little bit flat. I think they'll be fine. I think Alabama very well could win this game by 10 points, but 11.5 is just a little too rich for me. So I will be taking Ole Miss plus 11.5. By the way, we talked about strategies. My strategy, I'm not doing any notes.
Yeah, I have none either.
No stats, no notes. I'm going full gut picks.
Yep.
Full gut going off of the spot.
I'm kind of doing that. I have a little bit of stats, but different type of stats, and I'll allude to it once we pick our one of these games that I get.
I'm going 110% gut picks based off the spot. Our second game, another 3:30 game on ESPN. Number 22 UCF at number 17 Tulane. Tulane is 1.5-point favorites at home. Over under is 54.5. This will not decide everything, but decide a lot in the American Conference. The winner of this game locks himself into the championship game. UCF already has a big win over Cincinnati, so even if they lose, I think they could be all right. But if UCF does win, it's Tulane versus UCF. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because if they lose this, they still play Cincinnati. So if Tulane loses that game and Cincinnati, they're in tough times. Because they'll be a top. They're 17th right now. But if they lose both those games, they'll go from 17th to not even playing in the conference championship. That's not good this late. But what are your thoughts so far, Douglas, on this game?
I'm leaning towards UCF. That's where I will be going here. I think that they're just a better team than Tulane. I know Tulane has a couple of nice wins. I don't know if they can go shot for shot with UCF in that offense. That's what I'm going to put all my money into. And I'm also fading the general public. 74% of the public is on Tulane. That is my strategy this week. I'm going to be fading the public. If it's anything higher than a certain number I have in my head, I will be taking the other side. Because last week, had I known what percent of money was on Tennessee to beat Georgia, I would have hopped off that ship and swam back to shore with no arms and no legs.
Georgia's minus 8.5 was the easiest bet of the weekend. I told you.
I would have swam across the Atlantic Ocean to get back if I could have. So I will be fading the general public. 74% on Tulane. That's why I'm going UCF.
I will say this. Desperation is why I'm taking this.
Okay.
Desperation. Tulane needs this win. If Tulane beats UCF, they guarantee a spot in the American Championship game.
Okay.
Absolutely guaranteed. Even if they lose to Cincinnati, they still are guaranteed a spot. So I will take Tulane. The crowd is going to be absolutely live. This probably should have been where I'm not sure where College Game Day is going. But it should have been here. This is going to be the biggest game in the history of Tulane's program. If they can get a win against a ranked team, I don't rule them out for a New Year's Six Bowl.
Okay.
If they run the table in the American and get somehow into the top 10 at the end of the year, I don't rule them out for a New Year's Six Bowl. So I'm taking Tulane -1.5. Desperation. They need this one. Let's get into our third game. Number 25, Washington at number 6, Oregon. Oregon, a 13.5 point favorite. Over under of 72.5. My goodness, if you take the over, that is going to be an all game sweat. I don't care how fast they're scoring. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'll be taking Oregon -13.5. I know 72% of money is on them. This is the one exception I have here. They've given me no reason to believe they cannot cover, especially the way Bo Nix is playing and especially how he looks at home. I love Oregon here -13.5. I actually think they blow the doors off Washington because they want that playoff spot. They're going to try to fight, scratch, and claw their way into that 4 spot and pray a couple of teams lose. And they're going to try and score as many points as they can. So the committee looks at them and maybe gives them the spot. So I love Oregon here.
Yeah, Washington State. Last week them beating Oregon State, they came from behind, was somewhat impressive. But besides that, not really. I mean, they went into their easiest part of the schedule. They lost to Arizona State. They beat Arizona by 10, and they beat Cal by 7.
Yep.
This is not the team that's that quality. They're beating teams, but they're not doing what they should against them for how good of talent they have. Yeah, Oregon's playing for everything right now. The college football playoff is not off the table for them. So I'm going to take Oregon at home -13.5. I actually really love this taking the over here. I think there's going to be a crazy amount of points. Do I think there's going to be 72.5? I don't know.
That's
But
too much of a sweat for me to go near.
I could be adding that. We'll see where I'm at on Sunday. We'll see. That's a 7:00 game. I could be adding that over depending on where I'm at. Our last game, number 4 TCU at number 18 Texas. Texas 7 point favorites. Sorry, 7 point favorites. Over under is 64.5. Douglas, I already went to you first for all these games. Why don't you wrap up the big game previews? What are your thoughts on this game?
Okay. For starters, this is where College Game Day is, by the way. It's in Austin.
Okay.
Second, 83% of the money is on TCU. I love Max Duggan. I like Quentin Johnson. I like what they've done. Longhorns, baby, -7. I'm nailing it. Smashing it into the pavement. I think that TCU gets knocked out of the playoff this week. I think they lose by double digits to Texas in Austin. Love the Longhorns.
Let me do a quick check on something.
A few moments later.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking the over. I'm not touching the side here. The line scares me a little bit. I would not think it's that big. And with the over 70% of the money coming in on TCU, makes me not like TCU, but I love the points here. We all know TCU can score in a heartbeat. So I don't think they'll ever be out of this spread, but I could see a game, they're down 10 at the end and, they're hucking and chucking and throw a pick instead of a backdoor cover.
Yeah.
So give me the over in that game. 2 good offenses. Quinn Ewers. This feels like a game for Quinn Ewers where he needs to get some respect back too.
Yeah.
As close as they played Alabama, yeah, it was without him, granted. People probably thought this team was a top, 15, top 12 team in the country, and they just haven't really. I mean, they've won, but they haven't won convincingly in a lot of their games.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to earn a little respect back. So give me the over 64.5. I think there's a lot of points in this game.
Okay.
All right, let's get into our cards. I'll go first. I'm probably not going to give you too many stats for these, but North Texas +6 at UAB. North Texas is playing for a shot in the Conference USA championship game. UAB season is pretty much over. They just had. I think they have 3 straight losses. So, I'll take North Texas +6, even though they're going to a tough place in Birmingham. Texas Tech, Kansas over 64.5. 2 good offenses, one bad defense, 1 average defense. I'll take the over every time in that spot. Oregon State -13.5 versus Cal. I think California is just as equally as bad as Colorado, and they proved it by losing to them. I'm taking Arizona +19.5 at UCLA. UCLA next week plays USC. It's a look-ahead spot if there ever was one. That one is for all the marbles for UCLA. Taking West Virginia +7.5 against Oklahoma. West Virginia, they should have covered against TCU. There's no reason they can't cover against Oklahoma. I'm taking SMU team total over 45.5 against USF. SMU put up, 70 or something this past weekend? They're playing a much worse defense in USF than Houston had. I think SMU over 45.5 was close to being my lock. Florida -8 versus South Carolina. Florida's still fighting for something. They can still make a bowl game. South Carolina already clinched a bowl game, but they're just not as good. Simply just X's and O's, Jimmy's and Joe's. Florida is just straight up better than South Carolina.
Jimmy's and Joe's.
Middle Tennessee -10.5 at home against Charlotte. Charlotte's one of the worst teams in all of college football. Shout out Pops. My dad went to Middle Tennessee, so I will be rocking with the Blue Raiders. Michigan -18.5 versus Nebraska. Michigan first half -18.5 versus Nebraska. I'm also taking the Michigan team total. Nebraska's terrible in every aspect of it. I mean, it's actually sad because I think Casey Thompson's actually a good quarterback and Mark Whipple's a good offensive coordinator, but all around they're just terrible.
Yep.
The team total hasn't come out. I did my card earlier today. I haven't seen a team total come out for them yet. So the over-under was at 48.5. They're 31-point favorites. So I'm guessing the total will be around 42.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. If it's anything short of 45, I'm taking the team total there. So I'll just throw that out there and we'll play it by ear. And I will save my best bet of the week for the best bet parlay.
Okay. I only have a couple plays as well. I have no stats for you guys. None. Yep. I don't have a single one.
Going with gut,
baby. I'm taking Colorado State +9.5, fading the general public. 72% on Wyoming. I am fading the public. UTSA -17.5 versus Louisiana Tech. Fading the public yet again. 68% on Louisiana Tech. Fine by me. Take your points. I'll take UTSA at home. This pick is not fading the public, but I do have a reason for it. Nebraska +30.5 versus Michigan.
What?
Major double look ahead spot for Michigan. They have They have Illinois and then they have Ohio State back to back. Yes, double look ahead spot.
It's not going to matter.
Nebraska is going to go in there and keep this thing a lot closer than what the spread shows. I think it's a very easy pick and a lot of points.
We'll revisit this, but I'll tell you why you're wrong. But go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. Next, Indiana +39.5 versus Ohio State. Look ahead spot again. The only thing Ohio State's worried about now is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. You got Ohio State, Michigan. That's what it's coming down to. That's you're in or you're out of the playoff. You could be in with a loss depending on how you play with them. I wouldn't put them in if they lose. Personally, I wouldn't put Ohio State in.
Tell you what, they better bring their lunch boxes for that one.
They better show up. That's all I gotta say.
They better bring their lunch boxes. It's gonna take some work to beat those guys. They're tough.
I will be fading Ohio State the next 2 weeks. Just keep that in mind. I'll be fading them next week as well. Give me Indiana and the points. LSU -3. Scary spot for a letdown, especially after beating Arkansas. But I'll be riding with the fighting Brian Kellys. Let's go, Brian Kelly, with your fake Southern accent. You got this team up and ready. Let's see if you do it again or if you make me hate you more than I already do. Tennessee -20.5 versus Missouri. Bounce back spot. They're still sitting at 5. They're looking to squeak in if anybody makes a slight marginal error.
I like that pick. I think they'll bounce back.
So I think they're going to bounce back very well and beat the brakes off Missouri. And I will save my best bet for the best bet segment.
All right. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong about Michigan here. Because Michigan -30.5 is my best bet.
Oh boy. Okay.
I get the double head, the double look head spot because, well, is it? Because yes, it's going to be tough if they lose to Illinois, right?
Yes.
It's going to be tough. But if they lose to Illinois and beat Ohio State,
I don't think they could get in.
no. You don't even beating Ohio State.
Even beating Ohio State, neither of them I don't think would get in then.
Really?
I think that's how far out
Who
Michigan
jumps
would
them?
drop. Depends how this week goes. Tennessee would for sure slide in. If TCU hypothetically beats Texas, they stay. Georgia stays. Maybe Oregon, depending on what they do, could get in. I could realistically see, dude, Illinois is ranked like, 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. They're going to drop far if they lose to them. I could see them dropping 5-6 spots.
We'll see. Well,
we will see. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it's a look ahead spot. They can't lose that game either. They have to be prepared for that one just almost as much as Ohio State.
Here's what I'll say. The reason I really love Michigan in this one is because they had a scare last week.
Yeah.
They went to Rutgers and they were losing by 3 at the half.
Yeah, 17-14.
Their season was in jeopardy. Jim Harbaugh is going to tell them, guys, if you do that against this team or if you do it against Illinois, it's all over before you even get to Columbus.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not is what he's going to tell them.
Yep.
You have to come out focused the next 3 weeks and lay it all on the line because we're right here and you just got to keep pushing and getting better every week.
Yep.
So, but the scary thing about Michigan is they're a team that runs the ball. They scored 38 points in the second half of that Rutgers game. Yeah. 38 points majority of the time running the football.
Yeah.
So scary how explosive they are running the football. Blake Corum, so underrated. I agree. He's impressed me from week one. People are sleeping on him because they were so high on Hassan Haskins, I guess, last year. And they didn't think people would have good running backs. I'm talking about somebody specifically.
Yeah, I figured. I could tell that wasn't a real cough, so.
Oh, really? I thought it was...
No, yeah, no.
That didn't sound convincing. Michigan, I just think I don't, again, I'm not doing stats, but in my mind, just using my mind, I believe Georgia State ran for like 250 yards. Sorry, not Georgia State. Georgia Southern ran for like 250 yards, if I remember correctly, against Nebraska in Nebraska. This is going to be in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
This crowd is going to try to rally behind these guys and say, hey, you're right there. We're going to be up for you. Just keep pounding, keep pounding, keep pounding. So give me Michigan minus 30.5. I think they just steamroll Nebraska. Okay. Nebraska season's over, by the way. I don't think they're not
bowl eligible.
Hold on, let me check here. Let me just do them. Yeah, they have
in the toilet bowl.
They have to beat Michigan.
Okay, so they're not bowl eligible.
They have to beat Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa to end the season to be bowl eligible. So again, I don't think
if that happens, let them go play for a natty.
Guy for the Falcons just dropped an interception.
Well, that's good.
Oh, it's not good. All right, go ahead with your best bet of the week, Douglas.
My best bet of the week here is, oh boy, I think you better fasten in the seatbelt, Trey.
Okay.
Honestly, and let me know when it's fastened in.
As long as you're not picking a team from Eastern Alabama.
Just let me know when it is fastened in. You good?
All right, we're in.
Okay. I will be taking Mississippi State plus 16.5 at home with the Bulldogs coming to town.
Wow.
Yep. I will be taking it all the way to the bank and praying that I walk in there with actually something to deposit and not withdraw to say I lost this. I am fading the general public. Georgia just made them a ton of money last week. Life comes in full circle. 87% of the money is on Georgia.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's at home. Mike Leach is going to have this team ready. You can say what you want about them. They're going to be ready. I don't think they beat them. I'm not saying they're going to sit there and upset them. Not saying anything of the sorts yet, at least. I I like them to cover the 16.5 at home, and I am fading the very, very big number on Georgia. Everyone's up on them after what they just did to Tennessee, thinking,
It's a
oh,
letdown
man,
spot.
it's a big letdown spot. I love Mississippi State here.
Yeah, Eddie Pinero just clanked in the ugliest field goal I've ever seen. So
He stinks.
I have the we'll get into that later in the episode. I have the under in that game. So all right, let's get into the Pack Boys Promise parlay. My first game is Michigan. I'm taking Michigan to beat Nebraska. Simple. They're just the better team. They're tougher, they're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. Give me Michigan.
Okay. I will be taking Tennessee versus Mizzou. Tennessee bounce back spot. I think they blow the doors off of them.
NC State, I'm taking them to beat Boston College at home. Boston College lost to UConn 2 weeks ago. UConn. This ain't basketball, folks.
I'll be taking LSU versus Arkansas. Kind of scary. Little letdown spot. I like the Fighting Brian Kellys, though.
Give me the Utah Utes to beat the Stanford Nerds at home.
I will take USC versus Colorado. Colorado's basically
it's a Friday game, right?
I think so. I think it's like a 10:30 game.
Gotcha.
Colorado's basically like a technical school. I mean, what are we doing here? So I'll take USC.
My last favorite of the week, Kentucky against Vanderbilt. Easy pick. Always faded Vanderbilt. Kentucky, I don't know what did they. I don't forget what they did last week, but Will Levis needs to get some draft stock going up here. He needs to have a good performance. So give me Kentucky big over Vandy.
My last favorite here before I get to my one upset, I'll be taking Notre Dame over Navy.
And my upset of the week, I already took them +6. Give me North Texas. I love this North Texas team. Give me them to go into UAB and get it done as 6-point dogs. They're going to win outright.
And my upset, much crazier than Trey's. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's stir up all the college football playoff. Let's see what happens. Mississippi State at home against Georgia. They upset the Bulldogs, baby. Let's go. Mike Leach.
Like an Ohio State hopeful pick here.
No, not a chance.
All right, that was it for the college football half. We will be right back with the NFL half of the episode. All right, getting into the NFL half of the episode. Thursday Night Football, we are watching it right now. It means nothing for you guys because this episode won't be out till Friday. So, but our picks are already locked in. I have the under 41.5. It's the Falcons and Panthers. I know this game just was crazy and mayhem only a couple weeks ago, but it's rainy, it's cold, it's wet. I'm taking the under, and it's already working out because it's 9 minutes into the game. And it's 3-0, and it shouldn't even be 3-0 because the kick looked awkward as hell. So, Douglas, what was your pick for this game?
I had the over a 41.5.
Ooh, head to head. I like it.
I had the over.
It's not. I mean, it's not dead.
If I had to pick a side, leaning one way or the other, I was leaning towards Atlanta by a hair, but I did not want to touch the game like that. So,
all right, let's get into the Sunday slate. We're kicking it off in Germany. Douglas, 6-3 Seattle Seahawks. Going to the 3 and
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Sorry, that was like the one team I forgot to write a record down for. The 4 and 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa is favored by 3. Over under is 44.5. Douglas, what was your pick for this game?
I got the Bucks -3 in Germany. I know it's been great for Pete Carroll and company, and Geno Smith's been nothing short of sensational. I personally believe the Bucks are going to start to catch their groove now. I think it's coming. I don't know how strong on it'll be. I'm not saying they're going to blow the doors off Seattle or anything like that, but I think they win by 3. Worst case scenario, I get a push.
Yeah, I'm riding the Geno Smith wave here. Give me the Seahawks +3.5. I do think, say it ain't so. I do believe the Brady cliff has come. I understand the final drive to save him at the end is whatever. But that's a glimpse of what we've seen all year. I'm sticking with what we've seen all year being the majority of what the truth is. And this Seattle defense is young. It's fast. This offense is good. They can run the ball with Kenneth Walker. I don't know I think it'll come down a little bit for Kenneth Walker this week against that Bucs front, but I still like them to hang in there and keep it close. If they do lose, I don't think they lose by more than a field goal because this Bucs offense still can't score a lot of points.
Okay.
Let's get into the 1:00 slate. Probably the game of the week if Josh Allen is healthy. By the way, do you want to pop open FanDuel for me because I got these in line?
I have it up.
Okay, because I got these lines a little earlier today. The 7-1 Minnesota Vikings go to the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Bills are 3.5-point favorites.
Correct.
Over under is 43.5.
Yep.
And I'm taking the Bills.
Okay.
Now this is I'm taking the Bills now because I haven't heard anything that Josh Allen's out. Seems like a guy that would want to tough this out and keep playing with his team. I don't really like the over under. I could see this game being really close and being like a 17-14 game and going way under. But I could also see it being 32-36 or something crazy in a shootout. So I'm just gonna take the Bills plus 3.5. I love the crowd in Buffalo. I love this pass rush for Buffalo. I think they're getting better every week. Greg Rousseau, I think he's a emerging superstar. And like you said, Case Keenum's there and for Buffalo, and he has a connection with Diggs anyway. So give me the Bills.
I'll be taking Minnesota plus 3.5. The sole reason I'm doing this, and the only reason I'm giving you guys, the line was 9.5 2 days ago. The news about Allen came out. The line has dropped now 6 points. That makes me think that Vegas knows something that we don't yet. They're maybe thinking he's not going to play, which is why I will take the points with Minnesota.
Two points to that. One thing about Minnesota. Think of the one tough road game they played this year.
Philly.
At Philly. What happened?
They got destroyed.
Another reason to take the Bills. One more thing about don't you think if they knew Allen was out, the Vikings would be favorites?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't think so.
You think Case Keenum would be 3-point favorite?
I think probably something about that. Yeah.
Interesting.
2.5 is probably what I'd set it at, but I really don't think Allen's going to play this week.
Okay.
I think that's why the line dropped. There's no reason otherwise the line would drop that drastic in the matter of 24 hours.
All right. Our last game that we'll talk about right now before we take a quick break. The 2-6 Detroit Lions at the 3-6 Chicago Bears. Bears are 3-point favorite. Over under is 48.5. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this game?
I think this game's going to be a push no matter which way it goes. I'll take Detroit plus 3. I see it being a 3-point game. I could see Detroit winning by 3. I don't think the Bears can win by anything more than 3. So I will take the points.
I'm taking the over.
Okay,
if I had to take a spread, I'd probably take the Bears. I might still add the Bears minus 3.
Okay.
I think Bears are a team that's ascending. I think the Lions, I think people are a little higher on them than they should be. I think they'll be coming off a little high spot. They're beating the Packers at home for the first time since Rodgers was born, probably. So I'm taking the over. The Justin Fields is going to run for 150 yards this game. He's probably going to throw for another 200. It's just going to be a high scoring game. The Lions have a good offense.
Take it back now. I want the slander of Fields taken back that you have spewed on here.
When did I say he was a bad player?
Oh, you said he is a bad quarterback. You said he stinks.
I say that?
I will find it. I will go look through every episode and find it.
Okay, what I said, I'll tell you what I said, and when you find it, you can bring the clip because it'll match what I'm about to say here. If you force him to throw from the pocket, he's much worse. He's much worse than he is if you let him get outside the pocket. That's just a simple fact.
Fair.
If you force him to stay in the pocket and read the defense instead of rolling out and finding the receiver open or scrambling for a first down, much worse than he is in the pocket. So, but give me the over and half. I don't think they can keep him in the pocket. I think he's going to run. I think he's going to throw once he gets out of the pocket. And the Lions defense is just much better than this Bears defense, who's already given up their 2 best players. So, all right, we will be right back with the rest of the NFL episode. All right, our next game, the 3-5 stinky Denver Broncos go to the 5-3 Tennessee Titans. Titans are 2.5-point favorite. Over under might be the lowest we see all year. 36.5 for the total in this game. Douglas, what are your thoughts?
My best bets in this game, actually.
Nice.
It was originally Steelers game. Then I changed it to Minnesota and the Bills. And then I said, I kind of want to stay away from there too. And I went here, and this is where I'm staying. So
I'm taking the Titans minus 2.5. All reports are that Titans quarterback Tannehill and Treylon Burks have played today or have practiced today, and they expect them to play this weekend. That's probably the only reason they're a favorite, because Malik Willis is atrocious. If this is a game where I will be monitoring Tannehill's status the second he's out, no matter what that line flips through, if it flips the Broncos -3, I'll probably take the Broncos -3 because Malik Willis stinks.
Okay.
So we'll move on to our fifth game here. The 3-6 Jacksonville Jaguars go to the 6-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 9.5-point favorites. Over under is 50.5. I'm going nuts here. I'm going full blown crazy. Give me the Chiefs -9.5 and give me the over 50.5. I'm going nuts. I'm thinking one of these hits. Either the Chiefs win this game like in just a complete disrespectful blowout, like 35-3, or they win like 42-17, or even more, 42, I don't know, 21, 42-24.
Okay.
Something like that. But I expect there to be points. Weather looks good for Kansas City. It'll be a little chilly, but no rain, no snow to worry about. So give me the over. One of these hits, the over or the Chiefs. So that's why I'm taking both.
Okay, I'll be taking the Jags +9.5. I think the Chiefs win. I could see them winning by 7. I think the Jags will keep it respectable enough. ETN in his last 5 games since really like taking over has 100 yards from scrimmage or more. The last 3 games, he's rushed for 100 yards and has a touchdown. He's been really hard to stop. He's kind of coming into himself now. I just like them to keep it close enough. This is just a gut pick. So,
our next game, the 3-5 Cleveland Browns go to the 6-3 Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are 3.5-point favorite. Over under is 48.5. I'm going crazy again. Give me the over and the Dolphins.
Okay.
Give me. I think one of these hits. I think either the Dolphins beat them 35-10, 35-3, 28-3, 28-10. I don't care. By the way, this I don't think it'll be even that. I think the Dolphins will score more because this Browns defense is atrocious. I think realistically the Browns could probably score up to 17 points on this Miami Dolphins defense. So I love this over. 35-17 gets you this over. So I will be taking the over and the Dolphins -3.5.
I'll be taking the Brownies +3.5 here.
We're gonna have crazy cards because it's gonna be all good or all bad.
I'm either gonna be having a shot to get a lot closer to you, or I'm gonna be out of it for the rest of the season. Here, it's looking like. I like the Browns here. They know they're starting to figure out what they're good at. That's time possession. Keep the ball out of Tua's hands. Run Nick Chubb down their throat. Time management, and get to the quarterback. I think they do just enough to cover. They may lose by a field goal, but that still ensures me my bet.
Our next game, basically for me, a lock to be the first overall draft pick in the 2023 NFL draft. The 1-6-1 Houston Texans go to the 6-2 New York Giants. Giants are 5.5-point favorites. Over under is 40.5. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this game?
When it seems too good to be true, you go the other way. Give me the Texans +5.5.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude, no, honestly, like that line's entirely too low. You agree, right? Like that line should be while they're at home too, coming off a bye week.
The Houston Texans have a long rest.
Oh man, I don't know. I like Houston here, getting the 5.5. Think the Giants win by a field goal or something, 4-28, 24, 21-17. Something like that, but I think that the Texans barely cover. Bad beat type situation.
I am taking the Giants -5.5 solely off of what Derrick Henry did to them. Derrick Henry just said, I'm taking the ball, I'm going to go between the tackles, and I'm going to rush for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Barkley's, just a better back than Henry. I understand the implication that Henry's physicality has, and it can wear you down throughout a game. I think Barkley just has a better chance of running it for more scores.
I agree.
For bigger plays.
I agree.
And just busting bigger plays against this defense, and that'll help Daniel Jones and the rest of the offense get into a rhythm. So I'm taking the Giants -5.5. Anything under a touchdown, I love here for the Giants. I think the Giants prove that they're not a legit team, but they take care of business in this one. They show that they're just a better team than the Texans, which 99% of teams are.
Okay.
Our last game of the 1 o'clock slate, the 3-6 New Orleans Saints are 1.5 point favorites at the 2-6 Pittsburgh Steelers, over under 40.5. Douglas, I think we talked about this earlier when the Bucks went to Pittsburgh. Not too many times the Steelers are home dogs. This is my best bet in this game. So, what are your thoughts?
Unfortunately, I am going to take the Steelers plus 1.5. I think they win the game outright at home. I would like if they lost, to be honest. It would benefit the draft stock. I want them to get Will Anderson. I'm all in on that now. I really am. That's what I want. I know the O-line's bad. To hell with
Yeah.
that. You get a chance to get Will Anderson, who might be
Yeah,
the best
no, I
defensive
know.
prospect in 15 years. You take him, and that's what I want. Steelers plus 1.5, though.
All right, moving into the 4 o'clock slate, the game that I am going to be loving to see here. I'm going to be my eyes. It's going to be tough because the Cowboys are playing at 4:25, but the first 20 minutes of this game, I'm going to be glued to it. The 3-5-1 Indianapolis Colts travel to the desert. 2-6, 2-6 Las Vegas Raiders are 5.5 point favorites at home. Over under is 42.5. Douglas, what are your thoughts on Jeff Saturday's first game as a head coach?
I am taking the Raiders minus 5.5 to blow the doors off of Jeff Saturday and company. No play caller on the offensive side at all.
Mhm.
Anyone that's ever called plays. I know the Raiders are without Renfro and Waller. They're both on IR. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Devontae Adams, and I know that the Colts defense has been pretty good this year, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He's going to have a field day. Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs is all you need. I don't know if the Colts score a point. If I could bet on them to score this, I very well may throw something on it. So I like the Raiders.
Give me the Colts. Give
No.
me Jeff Saturday. Shout out. Got to stay with the offensive lineman here. Jeff Saturday is going to get those boys revved up. He's going to talk about his days as an Indianapolis Colt and what it meant to play for them. They are going to be fired up.
Yeah, that you're right.
Fired
They're
up
going to
to
be
go.
up for that.
They're going to be fired up to go out there and play. Again, there's no other reason taking it than just Jeff Saturday. He's just got to bring something to the table week one. He's got to motivate it. He's got to do something, and it's just going to be fun to root for. So give me the Colts plus 5.5. Again,
Okay.
I've said I'm not going with any stats this week. I'm going with pure gut picks. Give me the Colts. 4:25. The 3-6 Cardinals travel to the 3-5 Los Angeles Rams in easily the stinkiest game of the week. This game reeks. Rams are 1.5 point favorites. Over under is 42.5. I don't even want to talk about it. Douglas, what's your pick?
This isn't on the fly pick for me because Stafford's still in concussion protocol. He wasn't seen at practice today, and Kyler Murray may not play also. That being said, give me the under. Oh yeah. Give me the under. If it is, who's the backup? Warford and Colt McCoy? I'll take the under all day. They're going to be pounding the football, chewing clock, gritty between the tackles. Clock's just winding down. I will take the under here. If I had to pick a side, though, I probably go with the Rams by a slight hair.
Well, I'm taking the Cardinals plus 1.5.
Oh, wow.
I think the Rams stink. I think they're terrible. I think this is what you get for going all in and winning the Super Bowl. Good for you, but you suck up all the free agents. This is what happens to you. You eventually get your brains bashed in by everybody else. This Cardinals team, guess what? One motivating factor for them. What is it?
I couldn't tell you because they
This
stink.
is the only thing I'm going off of.
Kyler Murray wants to get a W so he can go home and play COD?
Hard Knocks cameras. They're doing the in-season Hard Knocks. They have the cameras around them 24/7. They still think they're in it. They're deluded. Right. They still think there's something special because Hard Knocks is following them around, asking them what they're doing, following them to the ice cream shop to see if they're real human beings.
Yeah,
Give me the Cardinals plus 1.5 in this one. Our next game, the 6-2 Dallas Cowboys are laughably 5-point favorites in Lambeau Field against the 3-6 Packers. Douglas, do you have the over/under? Because I did not get it.
Yeah, I can get it for us. Hold on, give me a split second here. It is 43 flat.
43 flat. 5-point favorites Cowboys. 43 is the over/under. This is a system play for me, so I'll go first. Give me the Packers, easy. Rodgers is the Dallas Cowboys boogeyman. He is 7-2 against them. Dak did go and beat the Packers when he was a rookie, 2016, 8 years ago or 6 years ago. Long time ago. Feels like forever. But I'm taking the Packers +5. There's no way I'm betting on the Cowboys to beat Aaron Rodgers. Won't do it ever. I don't care if Rodgers is 87 years old playing. Give me the freaking Packers. Packers +5 is my pick.
I will be taking the Cowboys -5 here. This is a pretty easy pick for me. I know that the Packers are at home. I know what Rodgers has done in the past. Well, the past is then, and now is now. I like the Cowboys here. I think the line's a little too low. I think they should be about a touchdown favorite heading into Green Bay. Dak is healthy. Your running back Zeke's going to play, so you got both backs to your utilization, if you will. The Packers are without 3 very pivotal players. Rashawn Gary out for the season. That hurts bad. He was having a very good year. Aaron Jones is out. I know A.J. Dillon's good. I've been banging the A.J. Dillon bell for a couple years. I think he should play more than Aaron Jones. I think they need to run the ball a ton more than they do. I get it. And Romeo Doubs is out, who's probably the best route runner on the team. There's no weapons. Who's he throwing the ball to?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't.
At a certain point, it matters.
He hates the Cowboys. He has a personal vendetta. He grew up in Northern California as a 49ers fan, and he hates the Cowboys, and he revs it up every time he plays them.
I know it's a system play for you, and you're hoping you jinx it probably.
I'm not really not. I this isn't even a jinx play. This is just I've seen Aaron Rodgers rip the heart out of my body. I've seen it before. And I'm not falling for it. I'm not going to lose a bet against it.
I got the Cowboys winning this by double digits.
That would be this is a game for me. They go to Minnesota next week. This would mean more to me than beating Minnesota.
Okay.
This would prove to me that this team is finally above losing to one guy, like they've done so many times in the past.
Okay.
All right, let's get into primetime games. Sunday Night Football, the Chargers, the 5-3 Chargers, travel to the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are 7-point favorites. Over-under is 45.5. Douglas, this seems like a big line, but the Chargers are so banged up. Just, I mean, if you go up and down the roster, just so injury riddled. I mean, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Rump is one of their defensive linemen who's key for them. He's been banged up. Mike Evans is banged up.
Mike Williams
is banged up. Rashawn Slater's out, right? He's been out.
Yeah, he's out for the year.
This team is just so depleted. I know this is a big line. I know it's a big line. I know it's tough to swallow. I think this 49ers team is just reaching their peak. I think they're getting to the place now that they have McCaffrey. It's going to unlock so many different things for this offense. Give me the 49ers -7.5. They're only going to get better. They blow the doors off the Chargers. Plus a lot of travel for the Chargers. They went to Atlanta, come home, still banged up, got to go all the way. I mean, it's not far, but they got to go all the way up to the 49ers and play again. So it's not a reason. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be taking San Francisco as well here. Look, I like the Chargers. I think that Justin Herbert is, a future MVP at some point in his career in the league.
If he wins this game, his stock in my eyes shoots up.
I would agree. That being said, I don't see it happening. No. I think the Niners, bang bang Niner gang. I think they blow the. I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be really bad. I like the Niners to win this game by 20+. Actually.
Our last game, Monday Night Football, the 4-5. By the way, I'll talk about this for a minute. This pisses me off.
Okay.
This Eagles schedule luck. The 4-5 Washington Commanders go to the 8-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 10.5-point favorites. Over under 43.5. I'm taking Eagles +10.5, but that's just besides the point. Let's talk about the schedule luck for the Eagles, right?
Yes.
They go into the bye week, right? So they get a week off.
Yep.
Their next game is who? Steelers at home.
Yep.
Without TJ Watt, that's a pretty easy one, right?
Yep.
Then they play a short week. No one in the NFL likes to play a short week, especially on the road. But who do they go play?
Houston.
The worst team in the league. They go play Houston. Then they get a long week, an extra long week, because they played on Thursday night. Now they play on Monday night. So they have an extra long week, and they're home against the Commanders on Monday Night Football.
Yep.
What kind of Monday Night Football matchup is that? It stinks.
It does
the
stink.
Eagles are going to kill them.
So you're taking the Eagles.
I'm taking Eagles plus -10.5.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is the schedule luck for them has been unbelievable. I understand that they're playing a weaker schedule because they didn't win the division last year. I get that. But it's still like, come on. I mean, what is this luck here? You get to play on a short week and it's against the worst team in the league. And then you get a freaking long week and it's against the worst team in the division.
Okay. I will be taking the Commanders plus 10.5. There's a very good chance Chase Young returns. He is activated on his 21-day window as of November 3rd. Today is the 10th. If he plays,
I don't think he'll play this week. It'll play that 21 day
it's
window.
Not smart. I know it's not smart.
No, but they with that they usually take as much time as they can with that.
Regardless if he plays or not, I will be taking Washington in division, and those fighting Heineke's. I'll tell you what. Say what you want about the guy, he will fight. Got heart, and I like him to keep it close.
All right, let's run through all of our picks. I have the under in the Carolina-Atlanta game. One's looking good. There's only 3 points so far in the first half. I'm taking the Seahawks plus 3, Bills minus 3.5, over 48.5 in the Lions-Bears. Titans minus 2.5, over 50.5 in the Jaguars-Chiefs. Chiefs minus 9.5 as well. Over 48.5 in the Dolphins-Browns. Dolphins minus 3.5. Giants minus 5.5. Colts plus 5.5. Cardinals plus 1. Packers plus 5. 49ers minus 7. Eagles minus 10. And I will save my best bet for the best bet parlay.
Yeah, I have the over in tonight's game. Not looking the greatest as of currently. I will, on heading to the Sunday slate, I have the Bucks minus 3 in Germany. I have the Jags plus 9.5. Houston plus 5.5. Detroit plus 3. The Steelers plus 1.5. The Browns plus 3.5. The Vikings plus 3.5. The Raiders minus 5.5. The Rams and Cardinals under. I have the Cowboys minus 5. The 49ers minus 7, and the Commanders plus 10.5. And my best bet is in the Broncos-Titans game, which I will save.
All right, let's get into the best bet parlay. I will go first. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover 1.5 at home. I think they win this game outright by probably 4 or more. They're getting Watt back. That's got to be the key. They're going to get Watt back, and they got to be able to run the ball. This Saints run defense is usually decent. They don't have to run the ball for 150 yards. But they got to get close to 100.
Yep.
If they're rushing for around 60 to 70 yards a game, it's never going to work out. They got to extend drives a little bit. They're going to get more possessions now that Watt's there. He's going to get some sack screens and 3 and outs for that Steelers defense. Just love the Steelers team. They're not. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I love the Steelers team as dogs at home.
Okay.
Heinz Field's still going to be up, because they think they're still a shot at the Super Bowl. So. Give me the Steelers plus 1.5.
My best bet is I'm taking the Broncos plus 2.5 against the Titans in Tennessee. The Broncos defense has been very, very good this year, and it's a shame that they don't get the recognition they deserve because their offense hasn't done anything to capitalize with it. I think they keep Derrick Henry in check. I'm solely basing this off the fact I don't think Tannehill's going to play. I know he practiced today. I think they're going to play it safe, sitting nice and comfortable where they're at in the division, especially. They got games they can throw. They can throw a game. It's not going to kill them. I think Russell Wilson and that offense do just the bare minimum to win the game outright. I'm thinking something along the lines. I wouldn't be shocked if there's no touchdowns. I could see a 12-9 game. But I like the Broncos.
No, I don't hate that idea because the Titans do play on Thursday night next week against the Packers, so I could see them giving them another week. So just watch out for me to change that pick on the Titans, and I would advise everybody if Tannehill is announced out, I'd probably flip to either the under or the Broncos.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's get into the dollar and the dream. Douglas, what's your first play?
Yeah, we're heading to Jacksonville at Kansas City. I'm taking Travis Kelce. He's the favorite target of the best quarterback in football. He's due to score. He hasn't scored in the last 2 weeks, which seems like 2 weeks, but that's a lot for Travis Kelce. I think he finds the end zone.
My first play is Seattle at Tampa Bay. This one is in Germany, of course. I'm taking DK Metcalf.
Okay.
Geno Smith, that's his favorite target. I feel like when the teams play in Europe, they're kind of, I don't know if they're incentivized, but they try to get their stars involved early. They want to grow the game out there. They want to get their star players recognized.
Oh yeah.
So DK is definitely a star, and I think he's just going to right down the sideline, catch a ball because he's 6'3", 245 pounds, and a freak. I think he's going to catch the ball over somebody, take it into the end zone.
Okay. Next play, Lions and Bears. I'm taking Chase Claypool. Justin Fields is starting to come around, I think. The Lions defense is putrid.
Very bad.
I think that Jeff Okudah is a good corner. I think he will be following Mooney, seeing that that's the favorite target, which will open up a lot for Claypool. Another week to learn the plays, the system. And I think that they're all on board with Claypool. They want to make it look like they made a good trade. So they're going to go out of their way to get him the ball. I think he finds the end zone.
Houston at New York Giants. Give me Saquon Barkley. Houston ranks dead last against the run. Barkley's going to make them look silly a couple times.
Okay. Browns and Dolphins, Nick Chubb. There's just too much volume there not to score.
I like that one.
He gets handed the ball entirely way too much. And I know that the Dolphins acquired Bradley Chubb. I get it. Great signing, great move, great extension, great trade, all that. They still can't stop the run. They stink against the run still. So I'll take Nick Chubb. There's just way too much volume.
I'm going to analyze your Pittsburgh Steelers here for a second because I have the Saints at Steelers. I understand that Pickens has to come in and get his touches. He has to come. You know who needs more touches in this offense?
Deontay Johnson?
No.
Najee?
No.
Freiermuth?
Freiermuth needs to be the number 2 weapon. He needs to be the number 2 weapon. So I think he needs to get at least 6 to 7 targets a game minimum. Okay. Minimum of 6 to 7 targets. I think he becomes Pickett's best friend in the second half of this season. Pat Freiermuth, touchdown for the Steelers.
Broncos Titans, hate this game. If I almost actually took the first ever no touchdowns scored.
Wow.
To add to this. That's how I was very close.
That would be crazy.
That being said, I'm going to take Chase Edmonds, the new acquisition that they just got. He's their third down running back. I think that he is going to be the pass catcher out of the backfield. And if you've watched the Broncos, hard not to, seeing that they're on primetime all the time and they stink. They run a lot of PA bootleg, running back dump offs. I think that Edmonds might find the end zone on something like 4th and short, 3rd and short, close to the goal line, just some little dump off.
My next game is Minnesota at Buffalo. If Josh Allen plays, I'm taking Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
If Allen doesn't play, I'm taking TJ Hawkinson.
Okay.
Diggs, because if Allen plays, their connection's undeniable. Hawkinson, because he had 9 targets in his first game as a Viking. Cousins already loves him, already trusts him. 9 targets last week. I think he gets in the end zone if Allen is out. So
I love Diggs, even if not, because I think it's a revenge game, revenge spot for him personally. So either way, I like both picks there. Cardinals, Rams, Kyler may not play and Matt Stafford may not play. That being said, I'm going to take the best running back on either side. I'll take James Conner. I don't know how much either team's going to throw if neither of those guys are in. I think it's going to be a sloppy, ugly game. That's why I took the under in it. I like James Conner to find the end zone.
My next game is the Colts at the Raiders. I'm taking Mo Alley-Cox. The Raiders ranked 28th against the tight end. And you know who played with a good tight end, Douglas?
Who's that?
Jeff Saturday. He played with Dallas Clark. He played with a good tight end. He's going to know how to get tight ends open. Give me Mo Alley-Cox. The only thing that's scary about it is the Colts use 3 tight ends all the time. Yeah, they rotate him, Kylan Granson, and Jelani Woods all the time. But Mo Alley-Cox definitely gets the lion's share of the snaps.
Okay, and my last pick, Chargers 49ers. I will be taking Christian McCaffrey. This is a no-brainer. Since Shanahan's acquired him, I think he wants to get him involved as much as possible and utilize the ever-loving hell out of this guy. And I think he finds the end zone maybe more than once. So I'll take CMC.
My last game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers. Whoever you take here, I'm going to take AJ Dillon. But whoever you take a running back. Take him, take Pollard, take Zeke.
Yep.
Because these two run defenses stink. It's going to be a running football game. This clock's going to be churning. It's probably going to be a very fast game because each team is going to be afraid to throw the ball. It's Cowboys because the Green Bay Packers have a good secondary. The Packers, because of Micah Parsons and that pass rush, are going to be a little bit worried. So I think it's going to be a lot of running the football. I understand Aaron Jones is doubtful to play. So, but give me A.J. Dillon. He's going to have a big day for the Packers.
Okay.
All right, that was it for episode 22. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back with the recaps probably Monday or Tuesday. So be sure to check those out. Enjoy some football this weekend, guys. We already said it. It's going so freaking fast, man. Week 10 and 11 of college football and NFL. Insane. Yeah. Thanksgiving's almost here, and Thanksgiving's the end of college football season, the regular season.
Yeah.
And then, the NFL still has a way to go, but it's enjoy it, is what I'll say. Enjoy it this weekend. The weather's still somewhat nice, so go out and get some fresh air a little bit, but make sure you watch some college football.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it as well as Trey does. And thank you for allowing us to have a nice little bye week.
Somebody for the Panthers just had a very nice play. Who's number 15? Who is that? Is that Laviska?
Laviska, did he score?
Laviska, he just went on a long touchdown run there.
No.
On a little swing pass. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts me because it's only. Well, actually, I'm all right because it's the number's 10 right now. I'm all right. It could be worse.
That's not good.
There was a whole. DJ Moore held.
Coming back?
No.
Dang it.
That's not. But
all right. Well,
it was a hole. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we're out of here.